Do you have startup visa PR application and process? This video is for you guys because today we would like to describe the topic of financial requirements, settlement funds. Very interesting topic, and I invited our licensed certified immigration consultant who is also happened to be a financial auditor in the past, Yulia, and she will help me to explain what people should be prepared for, what cause alarm, and how we can help them, and how you can help yourself, guys, if you're in the process of PR to Canada under startup visa program. So, Yulia, we're talking about settlement funds all the time, but do you see any increase level of requirements or inquiries from RCC?
Yes, definitely. Over the last few weeks, we've been receiving an increased number of inquiries for the RCC, which are related to our client settlement funds. And more specifically, the government is concerned about so-called artificial transactions or illegal transactions. So the government is asking to explain the source of large deposits to your bank account, where this money came from.
Large deposits, let's define that. It's very important number, by the way, guys. What would be considered large deposit?
From our experience, we see that the RCC asked to explain any transactions which are equal to, at least equal to 5,000 Canadian dollars or the equivalent of this amount.
And 5,000 Canadian dollars, guys, Canadian, because if you have transaction 5,000 or let's say 4,900 US dollars, that increase amount in Canadian dollars, right? You know the exchange rate thing. So that's exactly why you need to pay attention. So, okay, we know the amount of transaction that causes concern for the government, but what's the definition of settlement funds in general? Let's remind people.
Yeah, the settlement funds must be cashable, transferable, readily available to you, and they must be free from any loans and obligations. So that means that you cannot borrow this amount from anyone, from bank, from your parents, or from your friends, and that's the government's concern when they request to explain the source of larger transactions. They want to see that the money belongs to you and that the source is legal.
Well, that's very good point. I would definitely emphasize and attract your attention, guys, to the very significant point. All the funds must be on your private account, right? We sometimes see people providing business accounts, even though they sole proprietors and they own the business. That's no, right? So basically, we're talking about restricted uh, type of accounts, personal or maybe joint with your spouse, but not spousal account because that's considered a separate account. So, based on this, what you see as big concern for us, because sometimes inquiries come in with different time frame. What do you see as concern?
We would like to remind you that you should be prepared for any requests coming from the RCC, especially if you have any transactions or have been having any transactions on your bank account which are at least equal to 5,000 Canadian dollars. So our recommendation is to keep all the receipts, all the bills, and keep track of all the transactions, so that in case you get this receipt from the RCC, you have these documents ready, because most of the time you would have 7 days to submit these documents.
7 days, guys, it's very short time. And if they ask for statements, how many months they cover? Usually 6 months?
6 months.
And don't forget, 6 months backwards. So you cannot correct the past. You definitely have to be prepared at any time. And generally, what we have in mind for people, settlement funds is one of the inquiries. Do you see any other requests coming lately?
Well, we've seen some generic requests recently for the government asking to explain any transactions which are above 5,000 for the applicants who actually didn't have these transactions at all. So we see that there are some algorithms and artificial algorithms involved in scanning
In
this
scanning,
paper.
yes. And what we usually say, artificial intelligence is not so intelligent. So just be prepared for any kind of inquiry, because immigration can ask any question at any time. With that, thank you, Yulia, very much. Guys, pay attention to our channel, subscribe to it, and like us, and share it with someone to help them to be safe.